Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, Stephen Badagliaco.
And
Jay Gout.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
He's
yay!
back.
He's back!
He's back. You left us.
Like Michael Keaton returning to Batman.
He left us. Yeah. He left us. That's happening, right?
It's not
Yeah.
what I'm
It's a
going to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
No, you'll never leave us.
No. Yeah, he's going to be the Batman Beyond, right?
In Flash?
You know, he's playing the
Flash?
Batman 1989 in the Flash movie.
Oh, that's
And they're-
not interesting at all. I thought they were doing a Batman Beyond movie.
Nope. And they're doing Ben Affleck as Batman again in it. Because they can't sell the Flash movie, so if you look at the Super Bowl trailer that dropped in our time yesterday, it's all just Batman shit.
Yeah.
Like,
The Flash, the guy who plays the Flash is like a degenerate criminal, right?
yeah, like he's
Yeah.
unmarketable.
He kidnapped someone.
Wow.
Yeah. Like an underage
Is this
cop
a
kid.
Snyder film?
No. But he is the Flash from the Snyder movies.
Oh, okay.
Do you like the Flash?
As a character?
Yeah.
I do like the Flash. I actually watched the CW show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cartoon? Like a cartoon?
No, it's a CW live action Flash show.
Oh, okay.
It's in its last season, season 9.
Oh, I see.
Now, you like the Marvel heroes better,
I'm a
right?
Marvel guy.
But as far as the DCs go,
Yeah.
give me your top three.
Top 3?
DC characters?
Brian's a comic book guy. He knows all
Yep.
this shit.
Number 1, Superman. Not even a question.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible character.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Does it have to be superhero or can it be any character?
I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? The heroes.
Because villain
Yeah.
Joker is like a known guy.
Joker's been ruined by just becoming such a cheese dick edgelord pick.
Yeah.
You know, I used to love the Joker. It's like
Yeah.
you pick him, you're just like, oh, I could do the voice.
Yeah. All right, so heroes only.
The best
Heroes
Joker of the last like 30 years is Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Only. Heroes only.
I think that everybody feels that way.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus online.
Tattoos. Tattoos
Right.
make a villain.
This is true.
Anyway, so Superman number 1. Number 2 is probably Kyle Rayner as the Green Lantern.
Just the
Okay.
Green Lantern? Like, I thought, wait, what?
There's multiple Green Lanterns. Like different people get the ring.
Is that the black guy from the
No,
from the
that's
cartoons?
that's Jon Stewart.
Oh.
Kyle Rayner is.
I thought he hosted the Daily Show.
Da-da-da-da-da. Isn't that the Daily Show's thing?
I don't know. I didn't watch that shit.
Anyway, and my third DC character is probably the Flash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Avoiding the Batman.
Well, we know I don't like Batman as a
Right.
character. I find him boring. I don't want to get into the whole thing.
Yeah.
We may have new listeners that like me. I don't want to keep it
What?
that way. He don't like to bet.
What about you?
Oh,
You got some
I
favorite
think I
DCs?
like the Batman the best. Sorry, I'm not a comic book fan.
Exactly.
guy.
Exactly.
You joke.
I like the Batman. He's fun.
He sucks. Fucking flat.
You feel the same way,
boring-ass
don't you?
character.
No, I love Aquaman.
Really?
Yeah, and
You can't even pretend.
He's trying to think of another character and he can't.
just an obscure DC character.
I like Booster Gold.
Booster Gold's cool.
Oh, okay.
Is he?
Yeah.
People like him?
Yeah.
I only know that because I was around
I like
when you were buying that.
Black
Yeah.
Adam.
Oh, that's The Rock.
Is that DC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Black Adam.
I like a guy, Adam, who happens to be black, who lives down the block. He's a nice guy.
He's a good guy.
We call him Black Adam. Get him over here.
Clearly, you live in
Which Adam do you want to come hang out with today? The black one. Black Adam.
Do you live in like a completely racist neighborhood where everyone refers to him as Black Adam?
Well, because there's two Adams. We have to differentiate.
How else could you?
You say Adam, you don't want both coming.
Right.
The white one comes like, I got to fucking hang out with
You
this
got
dickhead
no room
today.
on your sofa.
It's a love seat. I don't have room for 3. I only have room for 2.
No
right.
menage a trois.
All right.
We're here to talk about the king.
Believe it or not.
2019, The King.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Austin Butler was pretty good in this. I thought he was a pretty good Elvis. What did you guys think?
Oh, the king. That's, yes. clam bake. Gonna have a clam bake. Mama's little baby loves clam bake, clam bake. Mama's little baby loves clam bake too. If you don't know clam bake, you suck.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sure the clam bake clip was up for a
I
second.
can't wait to put it in because I have to watch each clip to make sure I'm doing the right thing, and I love a good clam bake.
Yes. The King. Who was in this? Leave that in.
You may know Cough Cough, famous actor.
It's one of the Frenchmen. The Frenchman named. Brian's so unhealthy.
I coughed.
Yeah, what? It's just no matter what you do, he's going for the jugular today. So who is the main character?
That's one of the most awkward shows we ever had. Can we just address that for a second? This just feels weird.
Really?
What?
I think so far.
Why?
I don't know.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it definitely does.
Yeah.
The main character is actually like a pretty famous person. At this
Timothy
point.
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet, yeah.
You may know him from Dune.
Dune, and that he was like a gay guy.
Oh, he's the
in
Dune.
movie too.
Yes, he was in Call Me By My
Call
Name.
Me by my
I
name.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Dune.
never even heard of that.
Good actor. Good actor.
This movie made me realize I like watching Timothy Chalamet and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
He's excellent in
Nice,
this.
What's your first thoughts of this, Brian? First thoughts of this movie?
So Ant texted us as he was watching it, and he's like, "This is amazing."
I think I was premature with that.
So you said that, and then I'm watching it, and I'm waiting for my balls to be blown off, and I was like, "Okay."
I was loving the movie.
Oh yeah. I think I texted you something similar. So
I think the all the way through it's listen, I'm not trying to say it sucks or anything. There was the end of the movie pissed me off, and I feel like kind of ruined it.
It's a little weird the very end.
the
By the
ending
way,
is not happy.
let me just say this: this is the most inaccurate movie we've ever done, and we've done Braveheart.
More inaccurate than Last Samurai.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's like
There's nothing.
this
in
is
this.
fucked up. This movie.
I'm so happy that
But-
he's
It's all works and it's good.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I feel the accuracy doesn't come with the actual story, but more so as the time of like fighting and stuff.
Here's
like
the
that.
thing. There's two ways
know?
to do the Henry V story. You could either just take the Shakespeare play and do that.
Which I think this movie's closer to the Shakespeare than it is
Nope,
reality.
they fucked that up too.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're
I
here
like
to say
this.
that.
So
Yeah,
they
I
fucked
like this.
Yeah.
fucked up the play and they fucked up real history
Yeah.
and they did this weird like their own take.
Yeah,
But it works for the movie.
the movie works.
Yes.
Do not watch this and think you're learning something.
Right.
Listen to us and then you know you're learning something.
Yeah. We're the knowledgeable ones here.
That's how it's done.
I do. One of the reasons that I did this pick is we love to talk about some of the military history and background in battles, and I saw a clip of one of the fight scenes, and I was like, "Ooh, it's very rare you see a big fight scene with like armored knights, like close combat scenes like that." And I was like, "We got to give this a shot and see what the deal is." And
Well,
I,
it's
I liked
Agincourt,
it.
right? Which is
Yes.
probably the most famous medieval battle of all of them.
Yeah.
People know this one. We talked about it a little bit.
I think we mentioned it before.
Yeah. This is. I think when people talk about Henry V, he's probably on the short list of greatest English monarchs. Agincourt is definitely on. If you were to like, if someone was to make a list of the
Most important battles in English history.
It's that.
maybe not most. Well, yeah, this would qualify, but just greatest English victories ever. It's if it's not number one, it's in the top three.
Now, because I specifically don't like to look much of the history unless I'm like really involved, I feel like you had a good backing of this, so I didn't have to. Was the unification through Henry a thing?
Yes.
Because so they did get something a little on track.
Yeah. Well, that's going to play into kind of the instability of the previous two rulers,
His father. And,
his father and Richard II. We'll talk about that in a second.
Sure.
Yeah. But what did you think of the movie, Brain?
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought the last 10, 15 minutes kind of changes the movie too much to be a modern Gen Z critique of like the old guard almost. And
Is that what it's supposed to be?
Really?
that was how I read it. And we'll talk about it more when we get there.
Sure.
But I thought it kind of betrays the source material for a modern viewpoint.
It does.
And
yes.
that is the main issue I have with the storytelling, and it doesn't land.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's kind of tacked on.
Yes. But I was loving it up until that.
I'm on the opposite side of you guys here. I think the ending was really good because it tied into the story very well.
It betrays Henry as like a
He actually fucked up.
He fucked up.
it
portrays
as a
him
great man,
It portrays him as a young, gullible person.
which is not what he was.
Well, in this, he
Yeah.
becomes king at a young age. He's not experienced.
Oh yeah,
It fits with the story.
yes.
It
Well,
does.
that part of it is true, but yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, of course.
Should we just dive into the movie?
I
think so,
suppose-
yeah.
I think before we dive into the movie,
Background?
we need a little bit of background.
Okay. So where are we?
15th century.
We are in the early 1400s when the movie begins. But I'm going to go back a little further. So the English, I should say, had this thing called the Angevin Empire, which was...
I hate when they put like the toppings on my pizza. I hate anchovies on my pizza.
They created the Caesar salad dressing.
Yes, they did.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yes.
I've been eating so many Caesar salads.
Why?
I love them.
Okay.
Have
I've
you
never-
never before?
I just never really was into
What?
them. But
That's my thing.
But I've been having chicken Caesar salads left and
Have
right.
you had
I
chicken
can't get
Caesar
enough.
wraps?
This is a new experience for me.
That's my go-to move. I go to a diner, it's a chicken Caesar wrap. What are you doing with your life?
I'm ready to learn from
You're
you.
ready.
Yeah.
It's warm under this wing. I can teach you how to fly.
Yeah. So
15th century.
they owned a lot of land in France. In fact, more of France than the French owned.
Really?
Yes.
They're the
Okay.
Franks at this point?
No,
What's
they're
that?
the French.
They're the French at this
Yeah,
point? How
we're-
far back are we?
This is like the middle of the 100 Years' War, right?
We're actually kind of starting the 100 Years
Okay.
War with this. The monarch, Richard II, is not a good king. He's tyrannical.
He is not Richard the Lionheart.
No, that's Richard I. Richard II was big on just like confiscating the lands of his nobles. He'll kill people if he thinks that they're traitors. He'll exile them,
Very rude.
and he's losing wars all over the place. And the French have actually taken most of the English lands back that are in France, and this will make him very unpopular. The Duke of Lancaster, Henry, who is the
Amish.
no,
Duke of Lancaster. I've been there. There's a lot of Amish in Lancaster.
There's a
not
good
Lancaster,
archery shop,
Pennsylvania,
man.
Brian,
Good archery shop there, too.
has been exiled to France. He's been kicked out of England, and he's not happy about it. Meanwhile, Richard goes on campaign in Ireland, and he brings all of the soldiers in England with him.
To Ireland.
Yes.
That's a bad move.
That's a bad move because the Henry over in Lancaster, over in France,
Over in
is
Pennsylvania.
gathering an army to reinvade England. And when he lands, everybody joins him. All the nobles get on board, and any soldiers around that are still around, which are not many, will join up with him. And he confronts Richard, wins, arrests him, puts him in the Tower of London.
Kills him.
He's put on trial by Parliament, and Parliament will say he is a tyrant and will support the usurpation of his throne by Henry. Henry is now Henry IV. Richard will be there'll be a rebellion of like supporters of Richard. They lose. He gets moved to Lancaster actually to be put in a prison there, and will quietly be disposed of.
And he still makes bales of hay till this day, churning butter.
I don't know what that means.
Because he's
Oh, because he's Amish.
Yeah, Lancaster. How do you guys feel about naming
He has a
your
stupid straw
sons
hat.
after you and having a first, a second, a third, would that be something that interests you?
My father was Anthony, so I suppose I'm Anthony Jr. or the
You need the
second.
same middle name.
Junior.
If you're not the same middle
No,
name,
we don't have the same middle name.
then that's not
so,
it.
Yeah, so I'm not a junior.
Yeah, me neither. But would you do it?
It's not on my list of things to do.
No. What about you?
If you had a son, would you name him Brian?
No.
Brian the second. Brian Jr.
So my wife asked me if I would do it, and I won't because I saw a statistic one time that the two least successful names a man in America can have. Number 1 is Brian. Number 2 is Ryan.
You're kidding.
Nope, I saw that in a statistic once.
Does that explain your whole life?
And I was like, okay, I will never give that name to my kid. 3 most, and this is for you prospective parents out there, if you're having a boy, 3 most successful names you could give a son in America.
Ahmed.
No.
John, Richard, and Nicholas?
You got 1.
Yeah.
What is it?
Richard.
All right, ready? Number 1, Richard.
Yeah.
Dick.
I knew that.
No, sorry, number 1 is Robert. Number 2 is William. Number 3
John Thomas.
is Richard. It goes Robert, William, Richard.
Yeah, so I wasn't too far.
Wow.
So, and when you think of CEOs and like millionaires, they're always like Bob or Bill. The last 2 Disney CEOs were both Bob.
Bob, yeah.
Iger.
Bob Iger, Bob Chapek.
Bob the Builder.
Yep.
Yes.
All the most important people in history right there.
Bill Gates, William.
Bill
you know?
yeah. Steve Jobs.
Yep. So I would never do it.
Okay. What about
Steve
you?
Spielberg. Me. No, I don't think. I think the name Steven became too much of a jokey name in the last decade.
That's just because you're around to clown it up.
Yeah, exactly. It became like comical to have that name.
I do think it's a little like I'm so great that this person needs to carry
I
on
think
my
there's some
name.
narcissism.
Pretentious.
A little bit. Like
ego.
Like this
Yeah,
person has to carry on my greatness.
Yeah. We have a friend that's like a William III, right? And his son is like a 4th.
Yeah.
Not gonna say his last name. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
he's doing that, which
Yeah,
is interesting.
he
But
did-
Will's a successful name,
It is.
so he's not.
But he is a narcissist.
If you're listening, Will, we love you. No, I don't know. I don't think I would do it. So it's interesting.
All right. What? So Henry IV.
Yeah, Henry IV.
Yeah.
He's king now. He's a usurper, which always comes with a lot of baggage when that happens.
You think?
He will reign.
You know, there was a King Henrik in New York, and he never won a cup.
Really?
He played for like 15 years, and every year it was great. He would fail and choke in the playoffs. King nothing of the New York Rangers, Henrik Lundqvist.
But he had the honor of having the great Avery with him, so you know you win. You
That
win
was a
some, you
bird.
lose some.
is that
that
an
was
honor?
the King's Falcon, really.
All right, so
Tex Avery. Yeah, so Henry IV's reign is hit or miss. There will be a major rebellion in Wales that we'll talk about because I think it plays.
it starts the
film.
first thing in the movie.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yep.
Let's start the movie.
All right, so we're in the early 15th century. We see the remnants of a battle.
Yeah.
In Scotland.
Yeah, it's a post-battle, and there's just like, what the fuck's going on? And there's civil unrest. They just fought the Scots.
Yes.
Now, these Scots, is this William Wallace shit? Or
No, we're
post?
100 years beyond that,
Yeah.
Okay.
but they are Scots.
Yeah.
The guy we see, I believe, is a stand-in for someone named Henry Percy, who is like a lord. And when the Welsh rebel, Henry IV's son, who will become Henry V, who will become the main character in this movie, will be sent with Henry Percy to put down the rebellion. So he's a fighter. The movie will have you believe when it starts off
A fighter.
that he's
a governor. A Navy
Navy
SEAL.
I'm going to find out what they're hiding. We're doing Jesse the Body Ventura. Jesse the Mind. So yeah, he will go to Wales with this guy Henry Percy to put down the rebellion, and Henry Percy will end up actually joining the rebellion. So yeah, I think that's who this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Do you know how he joined the rebellion?
How?
He left his home planet of Tatooine with an old man
Right.
and a dog pilot and a smuggler.
Right.
And they were trying to get somewhere
To Wales.
to Wales. They got sidetracked along the way, and then at the end, he was piloting the ship, and he actually blew up a Death Star.
A Death Star.
A Death Star. There's multiple.
Yeah, it's multiple. Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So then I think
Henry of Hoth the Third.
the second scene is like this council, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that.
All right.
Yeah.
So they execute the prisoners, right?
Do they?
I think that's what is discussed.
Oh, he hasn't delivered them to the king,
Yeah.
which is he sees as almost treasonous.
Yes. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
it's really not important. It goes nowhere.
Yeah. It's really just so Percy can get angry.
Yeah.
And the king is immediately a dick. And he's doing like
But he
almost
also respects him.
he's almost doing Longshank style stuff.
Right.
He says, if
Chickens.
only he were my son, because he likes the rage that
Yeah.
he has.
He respects
Because
him.
Harry hates him.
How?
And then it cuts to Timothy Chalamet sleeping.
Yes. Within the first 30 minutes of this movie, and I texted you guys about this, there are at least 4 or 5 scenes where someone is sleeping into the midday and then another character comes in and wakes them up
Yes.
and they're not happy about it.
Yes.
It happens over and over again.
Yeah. I like it. It adds a sense of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk just real quick. I know anybody who ever watches a medieval movie and like critiques it, they have the same critique, and I'm going to make it right here.
Yeah.
Why is it that when Hollywood makes these movies, they think like the Middle Ages are just washed out and gray?
It's the color of the period.
It's not.
But-
It's the most color. Like they love colors. You go to a museum and look at any kind of medieval art. It's like the most colorful shit imaginable.
it became a shorthand like World War II. All war because of Private Ryan. Every World War II film after that, other than Thin Red Line, is completely washed out and horrible looking.
Yeah.
You would think there's never been a bright sunny day in a war ever.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like it happened. You
And
know?
there's literally centuries worth of time that it's depicted on screen.
Atmospheric tropes.
Right.
That's all.
But
Look at
El Cid.
Look at El Cid, which
Yeah.
is a colorful, nice movie.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Go to medieval times. It's colorful as hell.
Yeah.
But it just became the shorthand. Like Mexico is always color graded yellow,
Sepia
like a
tone,
fucking
yeah.
desert, and like
Sepia
it
tone.
doesn't look like that.
Because it represents hot.
It's just
hot and cold.
It's just a grimy dirt.
And I get that we're in England, which is generally cloudier and rainier than most places, but still, like, come on.
There were bright sunny days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Grass is
every
green.
day.
Not everybody just dresses in these drab fucking.
Potato sacks.
Yeah.
I think it also, like you said, it's a Hollywood thing just to make you feel like, oh, that was a rough time. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
they
Yeah,
want-
that's what it is.
Because it kind of was.
It's shorthand to let you know it's a dark,
Things are miserable here.
it's a dark, dirty, grimy period. That's
Nobody
what it's
was happy in
shorthand
the Middle
for.
Ages. Nobody left.
But I do have that complaint with like color grading of shit. You know, I just think it gets so lazy.
Yeah.
Like World War II, I'm sure there were beautiful days.
Like, I want to actually add some grading to you right now because you are a colorful person.
It's a very colorful guy.
You're
right
so colorful.
now. Can you explain this shirt to me?
I don't know what there is to explain about it.
It's a shirt.
Like, what is the problem?
I've known you for many years.
Okay.
And I've never known you to wear a bright purple shirt with Kermit the Frog
Muppet
on
shirt?
it. It's very strange.
I came across it in a store. I like Kermit. I was like, this is cool. I'm buying it. That's it.
He fits into the medieval era trope more so than you right now. Even
You're
though
right. I'm drab and gray.
Yeah. We look like the Hollywood medieval times.
Yeah,
He's
Brian-
the actual
Brian's
medieval
real.
times. He's real.
I'm authentic.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so they have this council and
Yeah, your council.
yeah, he's almost a little Miss Piggy vibe to the shirt too.
He's
little.
fat.
No, because of the color. The color. You fool.
Who's your favorite Muppet, real quick?
Gonzo.
Gonzo?
Gonzo is the best.
The shrimp.
Oh,
No, the old
weird-
men. The old men
that's
are
a
the
weird
best.
pick.
Stadler and Waldorf?
Yeah. They're
They
the
have
best.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Can you guess mine? I'll give you one guess.
Kermit.
No.
Is it It's Fozzie.
Fozzie.
Yeah, it's Fozzie.
The bombing comedian.
Yeah, he's
Obviously,
Fozzie. You are
fucking love
Fozzie,
Fozzie. Yeah.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.
So in the movie, Anakin gets told he's too young to be a Jedi. He's too young to be trained.
The council.
The
yeah.
council. No, we see
Old
that
warriors.
his friends show up while he's sleeping, and they cauterize a wound that he had, and they
Yeah.
show they're like some rabble rousers, you know.
Joel Egerton is there.
They're drinking buddies.
Yeah.
And Joel Egerton, just like he's burnt by
He has
Timothy
a cut.
Chalamet.
Yeah, and
It's
he
a cut.
Takes the knife and.
So Joel Egerton is a really good actor. What'd you think of him in this?
I thought he was great. I was loving his character, and
Yeah.
then I looked it up, and I was like, oh,
He's fictional.
he's fictional.
Yep.
He comes from Shakespeare.
Little John.
Do you know who he is in
Yeah.
Star Wars?
In Star Wars?
Yep.
That guy's in Star
What?
Wars?
He's a prequel character.
What? Please
What?
tell me.
Wait,
Episode 1.
He's from the prequels?
He sure
Now
is.
I'm fucking interested.
He just gave the movie a 10 now.
You may know him better.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
All right,
Plo
we got a
Koon.
Big fat guy. Big fat guy in the prequels. Is he Dex?
Fat. He's not fat.
Are we talking about the same guy?
He's Big Bone.
We're talking
We're
about.
talking about Little
The
John.
buddy.
Little
Yeah.
John. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Okay. I don't think he's fat.
Like bulky. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like me.
He's not Java.
Is he Dex?
No.
Who is he?
Am I close?
Nope. When I tell you, your mind's going to be blown.
Tell me.
Uncle Owen.
Oh my God!
It's Uncle Owen.
You're right.
He's in 2 movies.
Yeah, he's in 2. He raises Luke.
That's right.
Wow.
Hell yeah! Now
Yep.
this movie is good.
He also became a director, Joel Egerton, and he directed a really fucking awesome movie called, I'm sorry, I want to get this.
Is that what the movie's called? I'm sorry. I want to get
Yeah.
this.
Very good actor.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
enjoyed him a lot in this movie. He's kind of like he steals the show almost.
It's called The Gift. Watch it. It's a great fucking movie.
It's about AIDS. It's about bug chases.
Yeah. It's about The Gift.
Look that up. Look that movie up. The Gift. Keeps on giving.
So that we see that young Henry loves to party.
Yes.
Yep, there's drunk shenanigans.
Now let's.
He's a slacker.
Real Henry V, insanely pious guy, goes to mass 3 times a day. Does not go out party drinking. This was a thing I think that comes from the Shakespeare. Although I have to be honest, I'm not very familiar, if at all, with the Shakespeare play. I just know that the Band of Brothers speech. You know,
That's the
good
main
enough.
thing I know.
right?
It's good enough.
I'm inferring that like the character of Henry in that is more of like a party guy. But the real dude, he was known for his piety.
Wow.
In fact, the start of his reign, which is completely removed from the movie, one of the first things he does is he starts to persecute these people called the Lollards.
The Lollards?
The Lollards,
Were,
yeah.
were they walking around laughing out loud a lot?
They were big into this guy, John Wycliffe, who was like...
Wyclef Jean?
oh, my God.
So they're walking around.
I wonder if that's where he gets it.
They're walking around laughing, listening to reggae and stuff. Like, what are these people?
John Wycliffe was a he's kind of like an early Protestant. He's before Martin Luther, who wants the Bible to be printed in English
Okay.
and has all these like kind of heretical beliefs. And Henry hates this shit, and he stamps it out. And he gets some flack for that. Like people will say he's like a tyrant almost because of his treatment of the Lollards.
So the first act of Henry V, he's basically already king, and it's about his decision to invade France.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's not
So
laying about.
this is just comes out of nowhere. This is just the movie.
This
It's
is
just
straight
drunk shit.
movie shit. Unless it's in Henry. There's 2 Henry IV plays.
But then why does he have a
this.
drinking buddy? Because his drinking buddy.
All right,
is-
so Falstaff is a fictional Shakespeare character.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's who Joel Egerton is playing. He's a fictional Shakespeare character that is the most popular character in all these renditions of it. He's typically played by a big fat dude.
okay.
He's like the jovial guy,
Legendary
right?
warrior.
Legendary warrior.
Who had fought with Richard II?
Who had fought with Richard II. He is like the assistant in Henry IV parts 1 and 2.
Okay.
In the 5th, he is.
Oh, so he's
in
like
it.
a legacy guy.
Yes. I don't even know if he's in the fifth. I think they just mentioned briefly that he died in the fifth in one line.
Oh.
But he is a Shakespeare invention completely.
Okay. Well, he adds a lot to this film, so I'm glad he's there.
He's the best character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not to fast forward. Well, I think
Okay.
I wanted to feel more for the character.
So in Henry IV parts 1 and 2, he is companion to Prince Hal, who becomes
Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying before, that guy, Percy, at least I'm putting the name Percy on him. I don't think they say it in the film.
well Henry Percy, Hotspur. If you look at the Wikipedia,
Oh, okay. So yeah, it is. He goes off to Wales and starts a rebellion.
yep.
And they do not send Henry V to put him down like they do in real life. They send his brother.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas, who was supposed to be king in this.
Yeah. Now, the movie has him, like, be a nobody, and he just, like, dies.
Yeah.
He was a big supporter of Henry. He loved his brother, and they never were at odds, really.
He died in Agenus, France.
He's on campaign with him.
Yeah, he dies in 1421.
Yeah. Where in this he dies in like
He just
Wales,
dies here.
in Wales.
Yeah, like,
Or
off
like,
screen.
yeah.
The real rebellion was under this guy Owain Glyndwr, who was like this famous Welsh rebel who launched this war.
The Welsh William Wallace.
Yeah, but he loses, and Henry will win and put him down. This is all during Henry IV's reign, so it'll actually be. Well, yeah, I guess it is. Well, during the movie, Henry IV gets sick. This is real life, and someone has to rule the kingdom in his stead while he is ill, and it ends up being Henry, who is heir to the throne, but the sick king doesn't like the job he's doing. He has foreign policy. Henry wants to invade France, which is one of the biggest problems in the movie as far as accuracy, because they make a huge to-do about him not wanting to invade France. He wants to invade France right from the get-go. He believes that the territory that's been lost under the previous two
Henry
kings,
V.
yes,
Yeah.
is his, and he wants it back.
Did his father also feel the same way? I would
No,
assume?
he does not want to go to war with France.
Gotcha. So they reversed it.
Yeah. Okay. And because of like some policy issues domestically and otherwise, he will have his brother kind of run the kingdom while he's still alive. And I think that's what they were going for with that whole thing, where he chooses Thomas to be his heir. That's all bullshit.
Yeah,
You know?
the reason I think it's there
I see.
is to build the arc of the reluctant king.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
He never wanted this. He didn't seek
I
the
don't
power.
know. Why do that?
Yeah. The real Henry V, like you said, is a complete warmonger. Like he's an
Yeah.
aggressive
He is a
warhound.
warrior king, 100%. He wants territory, and he's after peace. But in this day and age, which is war is endemic. War is just constant. You know, you're never at peace. The only way to achieve peace is to win.
Is to conquer.
Yes, is to win stunning victories, and then you put down, those that would do harm to your people. So,
You know what it is?
it's modernism.
It's the modernism in the movie. They could not make a movie where the protagonist is like, I'm in power, let's go kick some fucking ass and make war.
Yeah. Right.
It's just not flying in modern sensibilities.
Right.
So they need to make him a reluctant, like, drunk washout who kind of falls into this.
Yeah.
You know? They have to change it for modern sensibilities.
Which makes sense.
And they get his character so wrong, But what are you going to do? But like I said, I was enjoying the movie completely up to this point. I was like, this is cool. I was digging it.
Well, I think you get probably one of the best scenes in the
Well, this
movie
is my
coming
favorite
up.
scene in the movie.
Yeah, I think
the one-on-one fight?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah,
might
is
be
great.
the best one-on-one fight that I've ever seen. It was so much
It
more
feels
realistic.
very real.
It
It was
does.
so much more
I
real.
love that it almost immediately degenerates into just
Grappling.
wrestling
It's
on the
chaos.
ground and punching each other.
And you hear the heavy breathing because the armor's so fucking heavy, which is another thing
Oh, I
that
thought you were
love.
talking about the listeners and me on the podcast.
You, yeah. It's just you. breathing heavy. No, like the armor was so well done in this.
Yeah, the armor looks great.
And it's the sound in this movie, like the Foley. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe it.
Foley is good.
No. God damn it. God damn it.
No,
Anyway.
I'm saying Foley is good. You needed to have a good movie.
That's right.
So this fight was. He says, I'll fight one-on-one as a stand-in instead of this big...
Shoot the one on, bro.
Right, and...
This fight is fucking fantastic.
Right, and while there is...
Look, it's no
story-
one-on-one fight from El Cid.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's not... But it's good.
It looks great. And I like the fight. I love
real.
that he hits him with the pommel of the sword, you know?
The hilt.
And then he finally does the killing blow on this guy with a dagger.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of armored fights. The dagger is a great weapon, you know, because you have to get in those little...
In between the chainmail.
Yeah, right.
And chainmail is tough. You can't get through that easy.
Right. But the heavy plate is what's important here, and that's what we see a lot of, and that will play a major role.
I see a lot
yeah.
of heavy
Oh,
plates
yeah.
every time I have dinner.
I don't even get that one.
There's a lot of food on it. It's a heavy
It's having
plate.
heavy plates. Yeah, I got it. It was good. It was good. And I like the next scene too, where you get Little John consoling him, being like, because he just killed a man.
Yeah.
And he's not happy with himself.
Right.
Thomas is pissed.
Yeah, well, he feels
Thomas
like he's
is
had the
fucking
glory
furious,
stolen.
Yeah.
He did.
You stole my glory.
Yeah.
You know.
stole my girl. Now you got to get out of town.
Thomas is kind of a little meek in this.
That's
Yeah.
the guy from 1917.
Who?
Thomas.
Really?
Yeah.
The main guy?
He's one of them. He's one of the two guys.
The guy that was killed. Yeah.
He's one of them. I'm not sure which. I kept looking at him. I was watching like I know this guy from somewhere, and then I looked it up. So he's in 1917.
Yeah, check if he's in that. Let's see how accurate he is. But there's a great line here, because young Henry is sad, and he just says to Little John says to make it feel better, "Never have I felt so vile than standing victorious on a battlefield," because he just killed.
Yeah.
And
The killing a
he
man
killed a
stays
part
with
of his soul. It's the one thing that could stain your soul is taking another life.
That's why you got to be careful when you use a Vada Kedavra because it stains your soul and you're never the same.
What's a Dava Cadaver?
It's a Harry Potter spell.
Oh.
It kills
It's
you.
a killing curse.
It sounds like
I
abracadabra.
didn't realize
but it's
I was
Avada
sitting here with a
Kedavra.
bunch of turfs.
Can I say something about Harry Potter for 1 second?
Sure.
Is it going to be about that video game?
It has nothing to do with the game.
Nothing. Okay.
Harry Potter is a cool thing that was completely ruined by the fandom around it.
Yes.
It was totally fine and good. All the books were good. All the movies were good. The culture and obsession around it
Yes.
completely ruined it. Not like people who obsess about the prequels, which is totally fucking
Oh,
cool.
you like prequels. You're cool in my book.
But isn't that can you say the same thing about like the superhero franchises?
But it's the people who like will put on like their profile, "I'm a Hufflepuff." You know,
It's very douchey.
No one puts like, "I'm a Spider-Man."
Yeah. Right.
That's the douchey part about
It
it.
has like this tribal mentality into it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And they all turned on her for having one wrong think opinion.
I don't know if they all turned on her.
A lot did.
A lot of people turned, but still sells.
Oh, yeah. Anywho.
So now we get to the point where, you know, the king is dying. Timothy Chalamet is told, and he's like, "Let him die. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you don't understand.
Your brother's dead
Your
too.
brother's
Yeah.
dead. The king
You're
is
the
dying." And he's like, "Oh shit." So I love when he comes into the court and he's like, "Where is this monster?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so brutal.
He hates his
He
fucking
hates his
dad.
dad, yeah.
A typical
This
Gen
line.
Zer.
This line is so good though. He rips the blanket off of him.
I love that. He tries to make him cold and
Do you
miserable.
feel this cold wretch?
Yeah. Yeah, and like the guy trying to like protect the king, he like looks at him. He's like, "Who do you think is in charge now? Get the fuck out of my way." Yeah,
Yup.
yeah, it's good stuff. And I think my favorite scene in the movie is coming up.
When they do the Matilda dance down the hallway of the
They're a little
the
bit
court.
naughty, yeah.
Yeah, because they're all, they're doing TikToks.
They're revolting.
They're Gen Zers.
Yeah, they're revolting Zoomers living in revolting times.
Right. They're doing breakdancing head spins in the courtyard. It's the jester. It's the jester.
No, my favorite scene is this. It's coming up where he's been coronated. The coronation is
The
happening.
coronation is really
He's
cool.
king.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I like this next scene where he's receiving gifts from far away.
Gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was so good.
This was awesome.
The bird from Constantinople. It's my people right there.
Yeah.
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 Constantinople.
Yeah.
I don't know why Beaver is a Greek now, but
Yeah.
I love
are
Constantinople.
you're a Byzantine?
Yeah, we've been through this.
Oh, right. He's a Christian nationalist. He
Yeah.
he
We've been
hates
through this.
He hates that the Turks are there.
I
and there will always be
refuse to say
Constantinople
it's
there.
Istanbul. I only consider it Constantinople.
But that actually, I love that came from the Doge of Venice. There's a little historical thing there because
Yeah?
this is right.
They have a
after
coin, the Doge.
The
right?
Doge, yeah.
No,
Elon Musk was there.
the Fourth Crusade is a disaster. I don't know if you guys know about this.
I don't know about the fourth in particular.
So
There's so many.
Is the third your favorite?
they were.
My favorite is the Children's Crusade.
Oh God. Do you want to talk about that?
So there was one crusade in particular where they had the idea to send children to fight.
No,
Is it?
It's a little kid had a vision from God where he was going to lead the children of France to liberate the Holy Land.
Okay. Oh,
no.
And he went from town to town, and kids joined him, and they made their way into Italy, where they were promptly captured by pirates and sold into slavery.
Oh my God.
That's
I remember the kids marching
poor
and it
youth
going
crew.
badly. I didn't remember them being sold into slavery.
yeah. They all nobody knows what happened to them. But
Nothing
that's
good.
More than likely what happened. The Fourth Crusade. The Latins, the Christian, the Catholics, were on their way to Egypt. They wanted to retake Cairo, and to get there, they hired the Venetians, who had the biggest navy in the world.
Have
at the
great
time.
blinds.
Yes, excellent blinds. They're insanely rich, and they
Protect
were
from
like
all sorts of
"You
rays of light.
Yeah.
we are having a disagreement with the Byzantine Empire. So on the way to the Holy Land, we want you to make a pit stop in Constantinople. So they do, and they sack the city and take it over. And they actually exile the Byzantines to like Greece. And for a little while, there's this thing called the Latin Empire, which is a crusader state run out of Constantinople. The Byzantines will eventually take it back. But when this movie is happening, it's the Crusader state that's kind of like informally run by the Venetians.
Okay.
So they're getting this bird, this mechanical bird, and sending it as a gift to Henry.
That's a cool little
Cool little
detail.
thing, yeah.
That is cool.
He gets another thing from, from somewhere else.
chalice.
Yeah, and he
Gives
gives
it to his
it to his sister, who's the Queen of Denmark.
Yes.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about her.
Yeah, okay.
The Queen of Denmark.
Yeah.
I have a thing for that actress big time.
You seen her in
Really?
other things?
Yes.
What's she
Thomasin McKenzie.
Thomason,
Yes.
like the witch.
Miss Thomas.
She's in Last Night in Soho.
Okay.
She's in she's not in The Witch. She's
No,
in
but that's the name of Anya Taylor-Joy. in The
Yes.
Witch, is Thomason.
She's in Old with M. Night Shyamalan directing. She is also in Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
She's
is
the-
she the one in the
She's
Jewish
the Jewish girl.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. But I have a real thing for her, and anytime I see her in something,
You gush.
I'm like, yee. I actually wanted to name my daughter Thomasin.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I was
Yeah, don't do
rejected.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good move.
I wanted to name her Thomasin Brady.
Ew.
That's a winner's name.
It's a name for winner.
Yeah.
Thomas and Brady.
I do like the name Thomasin.
It's a good name. You can name a. Could you name a boy that? I think it's.
No, I
would
wouldn't.
Thomas.
I would
right?
just be Thomas.
Yeah.
The third gift he gets from the Dauphin of France is a tennis ball,
Hysterical.
Yes.
and this is to him. This is a direct insult.
Saying he's a boy.
Yes,
It's comical.
yeah,
It's a good joke.
this is Shakespeare.
This
Yeah.
is from Shakespeare.
Yeah. So after the reign of Henry V, Shakespeare's writing 200 years later, and Henry at that point is a legend, beloved by everybody. So I think they tried to put insults from France into the play as almost like propaganda to put him up even higher, you know?
Okay, to really boost him.
Yeah, yeah. So the tennis ball thing comes from that, which is a cool little
What were
thing.
balls used for at that time?
They're games.
Games.
But like what? Like there's not baseball, there's not tennis, right? Like so.
No, I think there is tennis.
Really?
I think so.
I think
Medieval games.
You just hit a ball with a
Yeah,
stick.
you could throw
Like
it.
you could do anything.
You could play catch.
Probably croquet, I would assume, is
Croquet seems like
It's
such
simple.
It seems like such a thing of like the 1700s to me.
like a
But I really don't know.
yeah.
Medieval football.
Oh, how do you play? Does it
You
involve
kick the
jousting?
ball.
It. I'm guessing that it's like soccer,
Okay.
based on what I'm seeing.
See, doesn't it feel like anything going on then has to be bloody and violent?
They would use like a gallbladder from like a pig.
Well, he throws the ball against the wall, so I also assume that's probably a thing. You sit there and you throw the ball. Like a handball is probably an age-old thing. Is you just
like
need
the Great Escape.
you just need a ball to bounce against the wall. It's not that difficult.
Yeah. So this insult, it goes unanswered because Henry,
He wants to be a uniter.
he doesn't want to fight.
He wants to unite the kingdom. He doesn't want to go to war like his father.
Right.
And then we
He's
see
a king.
We see
like
a
his
camel.
father before him.
Yeah,
There's just
they have
a
a camel. I don't know where that came from. Somebody sent it.
Yeah, but it's a gift. It's a
Yeah,
gift from
yeah, it's
someone.
right.
And we notice now that the sister has some experience in royal
Diplomacy.
Well,
royal
she's been
politics,
around a bit
yeah.
more. You know, she's been in the court of Denmark observing
She just
shit.
Yeah.
she does a foreshadowing.
And
Like,
she
nobody's
warns
truthful.
him, don't trust anybody.
Yes.
Everybody's lying to you.
They all have kingdoms behind their own
This
eyes.
is very Game of Thrones.
Yes.
modern-y
But also
stuff.
great advice.
Yeah, I
You know,
suppose.
like it's good advice.
What happens next? I don't remember. Is
The
this when
archbishop is trying to convince them to go to war with
Yes.
France, and
Yes.
he's like, "I'm not my father. Stop with this bullshit. Like I'm not doing it."
Right. There's much ado here about like moneyed interests, and this will come into
Lands
play
owed.
with the big twist at the end, which is completely fictional.
Yeah.
But it makes me think of they're definitely trying to comment on modern warfare and
Yes.
politics, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that per se.
I don't have a problem until the end.
Yeah. I think you and I have two different scenes in mind that we hate.
Really?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
Let's not skip ahead too much.
Yeah.
All right. So France keeps taunting him. He's like, I want to just be a king for the people.
Right.
You know.
Is this when the assassin thing happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could skip to the assassin.
Yeah. They capture an assassin.
They do an
And-
assassin.
Well,
Henry.
they don't capture him. He comes to them, and he says,
I have news for you.
"Yeah, I'm going to
assassin.
tell you that I was sent by the King of France as an assassin for amnesty and sanctuary, I suppose."
And this is where we learn that Henry speaks French.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yes.
Henry is
That was
the
shocking.
first English king in the history of English kings who was not fluent in French.
Not fluent. So
Yes.
it was complete opposite.
Well, we discussed this a lot when we talked about Braveheart, about how
Yeah.
the English royalty
Married the French. and they
are
all-
completely tied into the French nobility,
Mm-hmm.
right? The entire court is speaking French. French is their number one language.
They show that in this a little bit.
Henry's the first guy that kind of rejects that, because it all stems from William the Conqueror, right? So he was the Norman duke who invaded England in 1066 and took over the kingdom, right? And all the people he brings on board to rule England are these Norman French people, you know? They own lands back in France, which is how this whole Angevin empire gets started. And they hold claims to the throne of France. And the French will say they hold claims to the throne of England. And this is why they're constantly fighting each other.
Yeah, blood feuds.
Right.
When did they go from the Franks to the French?
That's a good question.
I think that's more just a language thing. Like the language just evolved, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there was a moment like I
Charlemagne.
feel like 1,000 is
To
good.
God.
Charlemagne de God.
Hot
who was
97,
the first
right?
Holy Roman Emperor, King of the Franks. When he dies,
Exactly, King of the Franks. See what I'm saying?
they split his empire, right? So you
Yeah.
have East Francia, West Francia.
And he died around.
Oh God, the 800s.
800s. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know the exact year.
Not too far off.
West Francia will become France.
Yeah.
So when that is its own thing, the language change. You have things like the Song of Roland, which is the first French piece of literature. It was about knights and stuff.
I thought the Song of Roland is when you get your radio host fired for filming you in the bathroom at Sirius.
Roland Campos. You just made a Roland Campos reference. I respect that.
Yeah. That was just for you.
Yeah.
Possibly on the wrong episode.
That fits in with the last
yeah, what
episode.
are you doing?
Where's Jimmy? Where am I?
All right,
yeah.
So that's
It's all, I really can't tell you exactly
No, that
when it
sounds
went from Francia to
about
France,
accurate.
but I imagine it had something to do with West Francia becoming its own entity.
yeah.
In West Francia, born and raised.
It's Charles the Ball's theme song.
So this is the first king that didn't speak French.
Well, he spoke it, just not well.
Not well. Okay.
English was his main language.
Okay.
Now, Timothy Chalamet is actually fluent in French.
Is he?
Really?
I believe so.
It's a
And
French name.
And they use it in like any movie he's in. I feel like they have him speaking a little French to show
Yeah.
off.
Is what's his name? The Dauphin, the actor. that plays
Robert
him.
Pattinson.
Is he British?
Yeah.
He is.
Pattinson.
Yeah.
No, they should have flipped him.
He's Batman.
He is Batman, who we started this show with.
Yes.
It all comes around.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
No.
It's really boring. You'd probably like it. I think it really sums up the character.
Sums up all your interests, you boring
Did
fuck.
you see that one?
No.
I remember the last time we talked about it, you hadn't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've
You said you refused to watch it.
I won't see it in theaters. I've seen it. I saw it on VOD.
Okay.
It's fucking boring as shit.
Dark.
Yeah.
The whole screen's just black.
It's 3 hours and it doesn't need to be.
3 hours.
Yeah.
3-hour
It's an
Batman
epic,
movie.
Yeah.
epic Batman movie.
You don't need that.
Yeah, it's not even
Unnecessary,
epic.
Unnecessary. So now he sends a letter to France because the assassin was sent, and now they're like, you gotta respond. So he says, write this down.
And all his advisors are pushing him.
Oh yeah, they all want it.
Right.
He's like, write this down. Tell him use a bitch.
Right.
That's what he does.
Yeah. I did like that.
So now is it? Let's declare war. Oh, they
It's wartime.
execute.
Execute two
his
people.
cousin and another guy.
Yeah, he cuts their heads off.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
I think that's based on a real event. Just they switched it around a little bit.
They sped it up.
Well, they made them like collaborators with France, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I think they were just like unruly Englishmen. Like they're not collaborators with France. They're like rebels that he
A little
killed.
problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard leftovers.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuff like that. So now we go to France,
Yep.
and
Little John's now the war marshal.
right, he goes and gets
He
him.
goes and gets
Yeah.
him, which is a cool scene.
Yeah, he had been left behind as like the drinking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a funny scene where he's like, I have one request if I'm going to join you.
Yeah.
Pay that bitch my tab.
Bar tab.
basically.
His character kind of like brings the levity that's needed because everything else is very somber.
My one
yeah.
issue with it is like Timothy Chalamet never smiles once
No.
at him. It's like that would have been a good moment to like just have a little smirk.
In fact, he does very little. He does his character. He has like one or two character moments, and they're both like, "I don't want to go to war," and then he goes to war.
He's a stoic, zonked out Gen Zer. That's what the
Every-
character is.
This is what I'm talking about. Like everything about Henry is not portrayed here. He's
Not a
like
lot of depth.
reluctant to do everything. He's not a leader. He lets his advisors do everything for him. He has no voice of his own.
I have to disagree
And then he
with
gets
one
pitched
thing
out
there.
by his new wife.
Yup. Okay. Yeah.
And that's the scene that pissed me off.
I got to
well,
disagree
that
with
and then the other one too.
one thing there. I do think he needed more depth.
Yeah.
But the one thing you said, like he's reluctant to do everything, he is. But then you say he's not a leader. That I disagree with.
Okay.
Because he is the one who stepped up, gave the orders for war, for execution, but also, if you go back to the first duel, he is willing to sacrifice himself to save the lives of his men in England. Because he's like, we'll fight one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
He has an honorable streak to him.
Definitely. He's a
just-
likable guy.
He never had the ability to step up until his father died.
Well,
And
he's very
it's-
anti-war.
Yeah.
Right. Which leads to his character being that stoic, straight-faced, because the weight of what he has to deal with is so insane. You know, that's a crazy amount.
Yeah.
So I don't think it
I
takes
think
away
his
from it.
performance is really good, and I think it
Yeah.
does display depth. But I just think when you have one character who's comedic relief for the main guy, I think you need to show the main guy appreciates
Yeah.
it. And it's not like if I tell like a really, now I don't do this because I'm not funny, but if I told like a really like funny joke and everybody was laughing and like Beaver was just staring at me like this,
I feel like that's the entire show.
basically. But we all know I'm not funny. But like in the movie, people are gonna be like, he doesn't like it doesn't communicate like
Yes. Yeah,
like even
I agree.
even a smile, you know?
Yeah.
Like it never happens.
That was one of my gripes. One of my gripes with the movie was the
don't-
actual relationship doesn't feel like a loss.
You don't believe that, what's his name? Falstaff? Falstaff likes this guy.
Yeah.
How could he?
No, Falstaff likes him.
Yeah.
You don't think that Henry
likes
likes
Falstaff?
him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he does give him some praise, and
He does later.
yeah. When he
Alright.
introduces him to the court, that's a good scene.
That is.
Yes.
where he's like, this guy is a warrior, and he's in charge of shit now.
Yep.
I'd also think it shows the real character of Henry, which they want to portray him as a kid. He's a young person who got a lot of power, and he's going to be angsty.
He's untested.
And yeah.
Right. In the movie, anyway. I mean,
In the movie,
In
yes,
real
yes,
life,
yes. This is all
he came
fake.
to power, I think, at 26 years old,
Still pretty fucking
which
young,
is very
man.
young.
That's young.
But he was a battle-hardened guy.
By that time.
With his own opinions and his own fucking ambitions. And I almost feel like this version of him is being led everywhere. Like, whereas he's not the master of his own fucking destiny.
He's not the master of his own
Of his domain. Yeah.
At least not yet.
Yeah.
You know what
he
I mean?
kind of
He becomes
achieves
it.
that in the final moment of the movie.
Yes, he becomes like the real king at the end, but
Yeah.
it costs a lot,
Right.
you know?
So now we're in France.
Well, we have ye old D-Day.
Yeah.
I like this scene.
Not really. They're just landing.
But
I
I,
like
mean,
it.
it's funny.
This next segment, like this chapter in this movie, is fucking awesome.
Are you talking about the siege?
Yeah.
It's the most wrong thing.
I loved it.
It's the most.
I know.
All right, but real quick.
But I love trebuchets.
I've brought this up in other things. Why does France have no sort of navy?
I don't think they were expecting
They're
them.
being surprise
Yeah,
attacked.
they weren't expecting them.
Okay, they don't have a standing navy of any kind, I guess.
Oh, they do, but you have to get it there. Like the more pressing thing is they don't have a standing army ready to rock. You know,
Yeah.
See, in my
they
mind,
have to gather it up.
in
That's why
my
it takes
mind,
time.
it's like, well, you know, you have an eternal blood feud with these dudes across the river. Maybe we should have some fucking boats.
Yeah.
Always protecting that.
Here's you are looking at this as a modern man.
Yes.
And let's talk about that for a second. If a fleet of ships is invading a country, they're going to be picked up by aircraft and radar and things like that before they ever make it to the beach. In medieval times, if a fleet of ships leaves England, you don't know it's left England, and you don't know that it's where it's going or when it's going until it gets where it's going.
I understand
You know,
that.
you can't really intercept a fleet.
And
I'm
you
not
have to
saying
hope that
intercept. I'm just saying
somebody
maybe
sees
you have
them.
some sort of block to stop them from like
Just patrolling always.
You have to hold. Even the patrol would take
or
days.
just some sort of garrison on the beach.
The patrol would take
You know, it's a
days.
Big beach, bro.
they land and they're like,
It's a country.
we're good. I mean, China, they got a fucking wall.
That's true. They did have a wall. It was a great wall. One of the greatest.
They put this
Big beautiful wall.
this city, Halflor, however you say it,
Yes.
to siege.
You didn't like the scenes of the trebuchets hitting the castle?
I like when
That
they
was cool.
storm through the old town.
All of it looks great.
It looks cool, right? Yeah.
None of it is accurate.
No, not even close. But trebuchets are great, right? Yeah.
For years, you always would tell us, let's go build a
I
catapult.
want to catapult.
I-
yeah.
both would be good.
Trebuchets are cooler than catapults.
Trebuchets are way cooler, but they're harder to build.
Yes.
Because we lived in a place with a lot of woods and a lot of open fields when we were younger. We had the opportunity to just get together, get some wood, and build it. And we wouldn't have damaged anyone. We would have launched some fucking boulders, and it would have been great. You guys are just party poopers. Till this day, I still want to. I'm up for it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it.
All right.
I'd do it. So they walk through this
say that.
town. Everybody's fled to the castle.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, there is no indication whatsoever in the movie that this is actually a port city.
Okay.
The reason it's important is for supply line issues back from England.
He
And-
says that in the movie.
yes, and I like that they added that.
Yeah.
Because at one point, one character says, "Why don't we just go around it?"
Yeah, you can't.
And he's like, "No," because then the supply
We
chain
need
is
that,
fucked.
and there's other reasons like you don't want armed
Well,
men
then they
to,
could come
to
from
your
behind
rear.
you.
Yeah.
They show that he has some military knowledge.
Yes.
You know, he's not completely reliant.
But again,
on
it's
the-
Falstaff who's in charge.
Yeah.
This is if it's not the first, it's one of the first instances in warfare where guns are used.
Really?
Yes. Cannons will be used in this siege.
What?
Yeah. Gun, like they had, I'm about to call them pistols, but they are standing things. Like you'd have like a shield and you put the early gun.
A mini cannon.
It's
basically,
like a hand cannon
Yeah.
that you put on this thing and you light a fuse that sets it up. Yeah. All that shit gets used here. And they will be at this for months. And there's multiple assaults that happen on the walls. You know, in the movie, they make a big thing. Like, we're not going to assault this. Really, they assaulted
did
it several
constantly,
times.
yeah.
And they actually take a bit of a beating. They will destroy this city to the point where it's almost unusable. Like they need it because it's a base of
It's
operations.
an infrastructure.
Right,
Yeah.
where they'll be safe. Like they want to capture this walled city and use it as a base of operations to strike out at the countryside. The reason Agincourt happens the way it does is because they're forced to move on. They don't have this thing. The city gets
Leveled
so
it.
fucked up, it's worthless to them as a defensive position.
Wow.
So now they have to go somewhere else. And the French army, which has finally gathered its strength and was ready to attack them, catches up with them.
Well, I am about to blow
You know,
your
that
fucking
doesn't
mind.
seem too far off from the film. It was just sped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they do say it took months in the movie.
They
Do
say
they?
they say they don't want it to take
It
months.
felt like days at best.
They said they don't
and
want this to
all
take
it is
months.
is trebuchet shooting.
I thought there was a line like we've been here for like months.
Is there?
might have been.
Yeah.
But then the French army shows up, so it's not too far off. But you're gonna
Well,
blow our minds.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
So, Henry V has 11,300 men with him.
Mm-hmm.
In the garrison, there are 100 men holding the garrison.
Yeah.
Eventually, there are 300 reinforcements. Now, here's the casualty numbers. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The British lost between 2,000 and 5,000
Almost half their forces.
just from fighting, and then they lost 2,200 from illness.
Exactly.
They mentioned that in the movie. Like a lot of our guys are ill.
Getting sick.
Now,
Wow.
here's the French losses. Ready?
7.
140.
Oh my.
They lost. Let's be conservative. They lost 4,000 men to take out 140 men.
That's what fucking castles do, man. They are force multipliers. You can,
Hot oil.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you can hammer all day at that thing and die.
We all saw Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's way more accurate now
There was
that I
some
hear that.
there was some Frenchmen going down their big beast shooting arrows.
Right.
Oh,
Bring him down, Legolas. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah. I think the guns would have been cool to have in the movie, don't you think?
that would be a cool detail, but they know it would confuse your average person.
It would.
If I saw it, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, "What the fuck is that doing here?" You know,
Yeah.
Even an earlier version would have been confusing.
knights with gunpowder
Right,
weapons.
right.
it's not something you think about.
Right.
No. Although conquistadors,
It's essentially what they are.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
kind of same
And,
armor.
and that's less than 100 years from this.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Oh, so I love that the archbishop is like so pissed that's taking forever.
He's funding it.
Yeah, he wants some stuff going on.
returns on his
And
investment.
obviously, this archbishop is Catholic. And in my mind, was this riff with the archbishop and him, the king, because they never get along, was it to kind of sow the seeds in a listener, in a viewer's head, that this relationship between the Catholic crown and the English monarchy is going to
Henry
end?
VIII.
But it's going to end poorly, in a couple of generations.
I don't think they made a big enough deal about it to imply that. I think it's just
A little
just a
thing.
thing, yeah.
It's just a modern movie, and the church has to be
They're
like
evil,
pieces
yeah.
of shit.
They're always
That's
evil.
just how
Yeah.
they have to do it.
Or at least that archbishop is evil.
Right.
So the French surrender.
Yes.
Surrender.
They quit.
Yeah.
And now the army's on the move again.
Yep. And the men are taken prisoner. The men are freed. And Robert Pattinson arrives.
I like Patterson. In
He's
this.
great in
I
this.
gotta
Robert
say,
Pattinson
though.
is a great actor.
The Dolphin steals the show.
fantastic, dude.
He's so evil and a piece of shit.
He's a great actor,
Yeah.
though. I love his scene when he comes in here and he's just talking shit. And he's like
He
talking
does
about his end of
a
days.
Monty Python style abuse,
Yes.
like French abuse of an English king.
It's so
Yes.
good. It's so good. And you know what? You know what I like about this that I know you guys hated at the end, but I like the fact that you hate him so much, and then at the end you're like,
You don't hate him until he kills the kid.
that's what I mean. We're at that scene right now.
Right.
Well,
you hate
no.
him.
I love when he's like, "You have giant balls and
he
tiny
laughs.
cock," and he's laughing at him.
I think like he's like, wow, you're like this French guy's a dick, and he's killing kids. Wow, he's so bad. I get why they're attacking. And then at the end you're like, oh fuck, I'm the asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I love that happened.
I fought in your general
Yeah.
direction.
It was that.
It's Monty Python shit.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So now we get England mobilizes. They're marching on.
Yeah.
And did Timothy Chalamet say he wants to kill all the prisoners
Yes,
yet?
he says it right now after he finds out that the kids were killed.
Okay.
He's like, kill them, and
Yeah, so,
John's like, no.
So there's a bunch of like squires, right? Mm-hmm. And
There's two of them.
There's two of
There's
them.
two young kids.
And the French find them. They kill one. They cut one's head off.
Send them back.
And they send it back with the other little kid who's all fucked
And
up.
it's horrifying. Yeah. Horrifying scene.
And you're like, what a bastard.
Yeah.
And he's like, Henry's like, kill everyone. And John's like, I ain't doing that.
Don't
You're not
do it.
that man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he sees that Henry's turning into his father.
Yeah, if you do this, there's no going back. You
Yeah.
have no
You're
moral
just gonna
compass.
be your father. That's
And
all
this-
you're going to be.
This is a foreshadowing of.
What's going to happen.
Yep. And now we get an amazing plan being devised of how to win this
Well, I love they
losing
send.
battle.
I love they send a single rider out because they're at a hill.
They're at a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Go
send-
check out what's over the hill.
They send the guy
Oh, go over
up
there.
the hill,
Go look over
and he
there.
goes up, and there's just
The entire
tons
French
of,
army.
Yes.
and it's like, oh fuck. And he rides back, and he's like, yeah, the whole army's
Yeah,
there.
we're fucked.
So I have some numbers here.
Agincourt.
Yeah. The French knights, these are mounted knights, noblemen mostly, 10 to 12,000 compared to the English of the same caliber, 6 to 9,000. So they are outnumbered heavily.
2 to 1.
The English have, and the archers are the important thing here in this battle. Anybody that knows anything about Agincourt?
Yep.
English longbow.
Right. They have 4 to 5 archers for every one knight.
Wow.
So if there are 6,000 to 9,000 knights, we're talking quadruple that.
18,000.
Yeah.
So I'll
30.
tell you right now.
Sure.
They have between 6,000 and 8,000 men. 5 out of 6 are archers.
Yeah.
1 out of 6 are dismounted men at arms. So the whole thing
Lot
is
of
archers.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about medieval warfare before in the past. And
Yes.
the standard for the day, the war-winning tool, is the mounted knight.
Yep.
Yep.
A missile.
Yes.
Guided missile.
Guided missile.
Yes.
That's what we said. Yeah.
Yep.
Heavy armor, fucking unstoppable force.
Unless the horses go poop.
Yes. Now, John Wycliffe. Not John Wycliffe.
Wycliffe Jean.
Not him
Wycliffe
either.
Jean.
Falstaff.
Falstaff.
In the movie.
In the movie.
His knees hurting. And
Yes.
that tells
It's
him
going to rain.
It's going to rain.
My knees hurting.
And he talks about the mud and everything. And
They're going to be heavy. We got to go light.
Yeah.
Make them sink in the mud. They'll be slow. We'll be quick, and we could kill them.
Smart plan.
But we need one platoon to go out.
Yeah.
And trick them to
trick
take us
them.
out. Yeah.
All of this is nonsensical.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you think about it for more than 5 seconds.
Yes.
Here's the reality of the situation. The English are on the defense. The French have come. They outnumber them heavily. The French are going to be very eager to just charge everything at them and swallow them by force of numbers.
yes.
It has rained. It's extremely muddy.
It's like the Mud Bowl.
Right, and
kinda
this is
true,
going
okay.
to going to help out anyone who's on the defense and doesn't have to cross an open field.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put a platoon to goad them. Like, why?
So Falstaff can have a heroic death.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no. They depict the English as hiding in the trees.
Yeah, they like flank them.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Stupid.
That's not a thing.
The terrain is also wrong.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, it's like this hilly green place
a big
with
hill,
rains.
yeah.
In reality, it was like a field, like an empty field. It was plains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, I think the movie really is more about melee.
Yes.
The archers don't get their due, and that's an unforgivable sin with this particular battle because, like I just said, anyone who knows anything about this is about the archers. Like, you guys have heard of this fight before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They showed archers, but not
They
to the extent
do,
that they
but-
should have.
You know what? It's just not as dynamic. It's not as dynamic in the movie if we just have archers just picking
Yeah.
dudes off.
I also think that
It's more accurate, but it's not just. It's not going to film as well.
Here's what you should have did. In the movie, they have them shooting up in the air.
Yeah.
And then there's like a rain of arrows, which
Yeah.
is, it looks great. I don't care who you are. A rain of arrows always
cool.
looks fucking awesome.
Our men are down there.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's not what happened here. What happened here is, you had these heavily armored knights charge across this field, and if you rain longbow arrows on armored guys, chances are the arrows are going to bounce off.
Oh, yeah.
This armor is strong enough to take an arrow shot.
Yes. The horses are the main thing that they're hitting.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So what happened was, as they got slowed down in the mud, they waited till they didn't have to shoot up in the air until they were
Yeah.
close enough to shoot straight.
Yep.
And when you shoot straight, you're getting a lot more power behind that arrow.
Yep.
I'm not going to say it's going to pierce armor, but it'll put down a horse.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're lucky, you might pierce, the gaps in people's plate armor.
Yeah.
Get a knee or something.
These horses start to go down crazy, and as people fall off horses and
It
start
accumulates.
it
gets
accumulates, and they
crushed, yeah.
trip over each other. Now you've got guys in the mud scrambling while dudes are shooting at them.
Yes.
And it's going to fuck them up. Now, guys will make it through. It's not like these archers are putting down every single person. These
Yeah.
guys are still coming at them. So as they get closer, now you have the men-at-arms and the knights come in and finish off the job that
Who
the
are
archers
probably already fairly exhausted by the time they
Exhausted.
get to them.
Yes.
Want some French numbers?
Yes.
Okay. So
Give me them.
we have between 14 or 15,000 men. It's up to 25,000 if you want to count armed servants. 10,000 men at arms. Between 4,000 and 5,000 archers and crossbowmen. Up to 10,000 mounted and armed servants. These are the casualties. 6,000 were killed, many of whom were French nobility, and they captured between 700 and 2,200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this will go
Massive.
down as, like I said, one of the greatest victories in English history.
Possibly military history.
Beloved.
Well, we got to talk about the
immortalized.
speech.
And just real quick, I just want to talk about the legendary status of it. Have you ever heard of the Angels of the Marne? The Angels of Mons, I should say.
That sounds familiar, but I don't know enough to
This
comment.
was in World War One. It was a story that got out about how the British Army was in a bad position where the Germans were attacking, and the English longbowmen from Agincourt reappeared on the battlefield.
Like
And-
Return of the King.
Yeah, and
Oh,
their
no.
angel, like the ghosts of the longbowmen, destroyed the attacking German army.
I believe this.
This is obviously a ridiculous propaganda story.
It happened.
It's Lord of the Rings.
But it became like a legendary thing.
Rallying cry.
That's how impactful and the status that this battle had, hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about it had similar impact? So the baseball team, this father told his son that he would come back to him when the Angels won the pennant. And then there were a bunch of Angels in the outfield.
Right.
And they rallied the Angels together to
How'd
win
they
the
do it?
pennant. They went like this.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd was there.
Beautiful moments.
He was the main angel, Al.
Yes.
All right, but now we get the part where Timothy Chalamet is going to give the speech, which is like, hold on, before.
Well, their plan is not.
Well, we got to
too
skip
far
ahead
off.
one point. So
Yeah.
the king meets the Dauphin one last time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't at the battle.
Yeah, he wasn't at the battle, and he actually wasn't like this asshole dude.
Right.
He was like a pious, sick person. He died 2 months after Agincourt.
Yeah, so you can have him killed here, and it's not a big deal.
But I love the part where Timothy Chalamet goes to him and he challenges him to a 1-on-1, and the guy's like, "No, I'm not fighting you. Like,
You're
you're
scared.
outnumbered.
Yeah.
Fuck you." And he goes, "Then you will meet your end tomorrow at Agincourt."
Yeah.
And it's so the audience is like, "Oh shit, it's Agincourt
That's
tomorrow."
where we are.
It's such like it.
Who watching this didn't know? That's where this was going.
But even if you're not super familiar, you're waiting for them to say Agincourt.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Agincourt.
When they drop it, you're like,
This little town no one's ever heard of.
yeah. That's what it is.
By the way, French accent, most fun accent to do?
I think so.
It's pretty fun. Vive la France!
It's so like in the movie, it's so ham-fisted the way he says Agincourt. Like it's like,
Little
Yeah.
cheese.
yeah,
Yeah.
Too much.
it's practically like a wink at the camera.
Yeah. So we
All right.
get the plan.
We
Which
said the plan.
well, the plan in real life was the defensive plan.
Yeah.
The movie plan is
It's a little different.
slightly different, but not too far off, right?
Lure them into the middle.
Yeah, lure them into the middle. Go without armor. We'll be agile and kill them. John.
Yeah,
goes to
no
the front
armor
line.
is like what?
John goes to the front line with armored guy to trick the French into sending their entire guys. And this, I believe, is why we have such an egregious moment. Is I think this movie specifically went out of their way to show knights in a melee battle. Like that's what they wanted to do.
Bingo. And
That's it.
Looks amazing.
Fucking incredible. This
It's awesome.
battle sequence.
Well, you're
is
skipping. I don't want to
fantastic.
talk about the battle yet.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Like,
Go ahead, Brain.
We got to talk about the speech
yes.
because
Nothing to it. It's not really all that great.
I enjoy to speak English. It's
But
simple
no.
and ugly.
It's you have Timothy Chalamet. It's one of the most famous speeches in like
Shakespeare.
in
Right.
Shakespeare in like English literature.
For the king.
We few, we happy few.
And they don't have him do it.
No.
They change it up for like modern sensibilities.
They
For the
went-
king and St. George Terminal. That's what we do.
They went HBO's Rome on it.
It bothered me.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the whole movie, I'm like, I can't wait for him to drop the Shakespeare. And it's a great speech.
Yeah, but I don't want him to drop the Shakespeare. We're not doing that. If we were doing the play, then yes. But we're not doing the play.
Let him do
something
the
else.
speech.
This is
I
something
mean, he
else.
gives a speech and it's good.
Antony didn't do the speech on Rome. Brutus didn't say "Et tu, Brute" when he killed Caesar on the show, and I think that was the way to do it.
I wanted the speech because he's already given a speech. Let him fucking do it.
I like when history is sometimes separated like that.
If you want the speech, go watch the play. You can do that.
I don't know. I feel like in
We
this
can go on YouTube
movie,
and watch like famous actors recite it. Probably.
I wanted to watch this famous actor recite it as he's playing King Henry V. By the way, Brits, how far you've fallen. Because you have an American and French dual citizen playing Henry V.
Oh my! Yeah,
You
that's
couldn't
fucked up.
find a young Brit? The shame, Brits. Now you know what it's like when you steal all our superheroes. Same thing.
Shame.
Superheroes, legendary kings. All right. So the battle. Now we can talk about the battle.
Yeah.
I think we did.
It's fucking awesome.
It's
fucking awesome.
It looks amazing. It's
So
great.
cool.
It's grimy, it's gritty, it's dirty.
You got like
Crawling
guys
under
drowning in the mud.
Yep.
I love when you see the aerial shot of the knights and they can't even swing because they're just being tossed left and right.
Yeah.
They're trying and they can't, you know?
Right.
Now it's just who gets exhausted and passes out first. It was great.
I love when Robert Pattinson shows up and he's like, "Now you will fight me one-on-one," and he can't stand in the mud and he's slipping around.
And they all
Just
swarm
get
him.
him. Just get him.
Well, Timothy Chalamet is like thinking about killing him, and he's like, "Nope,
had
not
his
worth it."
chance.
And he puts his sword in the middle and just lets like the Frenchman tear the Englishman tear him
Because
apart.
he had his chance to do a one-on-one. He didn't want to. And now he shows up to like save face last minute. Fuck him.
And he dies. And now they're storming around. They're cleaning the battlefield, and he finds Falstaff, and he's very sad. And he comes up, and everyone's bowing to him. And as he's walking away, Falstaff is dead. So
Sad.
now it's like the character transition. He goes, "Kill everyone.
Yeah.
Kill all
Yep.
the prisoners."
Right.
So
It's messed up.
now we get the part where he meets King Charles of France.
Now here's what I'm wondering. Is this like months later after like a full campaign? Or is it immediate?
They don't really say.
They don't really say.
But he's still in the same armor.
Well, what happened in real life after Agincourt?
To be honest, I'm not sure. But I know that there will be more campaigns in France in the future.
Judging from how they handled the timeline, they made this seem like we got to rush through the story.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You could say like this was months, this was a year, this was a week. It's not going to change the
I can
story.
tell you
There's probably another hour in the movie if they wanted.
Right.
Right,
The
yeah.
aftermath of all of the campaigning and all of the fighting will be he will be named heir to the throne of France. Oh, real quick about the King of France, Charles. He's a psycho. He's a mad king. He believes his body is made of glass and that he will shatter.
Like Mr.
Really?
Glass?
They call me Mr. Glass
What's Mr. Glass?
from Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Oh, is that Samuel L?
Yeah, it's Mr. Glass.
Yeah. So he will be named essentially King of France, regent
In real life.
in real life.
Yeah.
France is conquered. France is gone. When Henry dies down the road, he does not live a long life. He has he's a short reign.
He's dead at 35,
Yeah.
Henry.
His heir is a 9-month-old,
Oh, that's not good.
and this will allow the French to come back.
Do you think that would be a good movie, The Child King, where like the little like 1-year-old is running around like Boss Baby, only like medieval?
This allows France to return. If things went a little different, there may be no France. You know.
So basically, his campaign, I looked it up. The campaign of like Henry V here marches through a bunch of other towns. He gets to the walls of Paris, and you know there's a big battle there, and you know there's treaties and shit,
Right.
and they leave.
And
France is done.
when he gets crowned, right? Like you rule France now. He didn't have to marry into that, right? It was just like
No, he married into that.
Is
but
it similar to the movie, like Catherine, or was it like something?
I'm
no?
not sure when it happened. It may have actually happened before all of this.
Yeah.
But yes, he was married to her.
Okay. All right, they got that a little bit.
Yeah, they got that right, but-
nice.
But here's the scene. The one I hate and I think ruins everything. It's so modern.
in the movie, he's back.
Is it though?
I like the scene between him and Charles.
Yeah. Where Charles is just like
On the boat.
You're
a great king.
He's such a beaten man.
Yeah, he's like, "You have won."
Like you are the conqueror.
Yeah.
Right?
Take my daughter.
But then he walks into the room with her and all of that is taken away from him. She talks to him like he's a piece of shit. First of all, okay. The line of the movie that ruins everything.
Okay.
Let's talk about her for a second. She is a princess of France, born in the royal family.
Yes.
She's been raised knowing that there's going to be an arranged marriage someday. There's no reason for her to view him the way this is a great man. He just conquered all of France. She should be terrified of him, but instead she talks to him like he is a little boy, like piece of shit. He's also just killed thousands of people. She should be terrified of him. And she says the line that is just so stupid. All monarchy is illegitimate.
Yep.
What is this?
No one would ever say that.
No
or think
one.
that.
No. We're in the 1400s here, guys.
Yes, that's a bad line. That's for modern audiences. That is just nonsense.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It ruins the whole movie.
Do you know what I think that is? That is legit. There was somebody writing that line that doesn't understand what a monarchy really is. Like they just don't get it.
It's like it screams I'm a person in 2019. And
Yeah.
Look, I agree with that statement, but it doesn't belong in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
and his woman empowerment shit, which whatever.
But she speaks to him and is like, "You have to question things.
Yes, everything you are is stupid.
We
and
never
you-
sent an assassin, you stupid idiot."
And then she's proved right.
She's right.
Yeah.
And the guy, the guy who
William.
is William, who's a real guy. He was not fucking a traitor.
He's kind of been like his main advisor the whole time.
Yes.
Other than
Always
Falstaff.
seems like a good dude who's always like
right.
propping.
Always
him up.
has his best interest in
Yes.
heart. But
Which
no.
goes back to what his sister said.
Right.
You gotta just keep an
Right.
eye on everyone. And
He
be
was
trusted the
removed
wrong
from his
person.
post the second Henry V took power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
in real life.
Yep.
And
So
they make him like the villain.
the villain. And
Yeah.
Henry and like I set everything up. I started this war.
This is how peace is
your
forged.
your peaceful nature was wrong. You needed to be a warmonger, and I showed you how to do that.
This is how peace is
I'm really
forged.
pulling the strings.
Right,
you stupid millennial. I'm the old guard.
All right. I'm big business.
You stupid Gen Zer. I know everything. You young hippie. You don't understand what it's like.
You're right.
And then what happens is the young Gen Zer has to kill the old way
yes.
and put down the old person who is wrong about everything.
Okay, boomer.
Yup.
Yeah.
And he has to put him down. And then he goes to his wife
I gave you a kingdom.
and he's like, "You were right."
You're a woman. You need to show me how to live because I can't do it.
all it
myself.
cost was one diplomat. One.
Self-respect of one English king. Tell me, Captain.
You say he got garricked?
He got Garrick's. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We worship Garrick for doing it, but we hate this guy for doing it. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing.
No, it's different stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the English is actually real stakes.
Dude, we could lose the whole Alpha Quadrant
Yes.
if the Romulans don't come in on the Allies' side.
I'll admit this. That stab was cool. That
It
stab
was a cool kill.
Yeah, it was a cool kill. I liked the William story. I didn't dislike it. I also
I
liked
hated
the
To me,
Catherine story
To me,
because it fit.
that last 15 minutes are the worst things in the movie by far.
Yes.
Her telling him what's up, and then, we have to kill the old. I'm a Gen Z. I got to kill the old guy who led me astray.
Right.
But you don't think it fits with the story.
No.
It does.
But it does.
It
works.
fits with their movie.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking
It
about.
works
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the movie.
Well,
Right.
because this
But
movie.
it's so divorced from
reality,
From
yeah.
reality.
He's a
course.
Gen Z king. He has a blank stare on his face the whole time, and he wants to sleep in bed a lot. He has a blank affectation. He's a Gen Z.
But I think it fits so well with the film. No? That's not a Shakespearean style?
no, not really.
I have way less of a problem with the scene with William than I do with the wife.
I think they're both bad.
Because, when you think about it, this guy tricked him.
It's a modern movie
You know?
twist. It doesn't need to be there.
It's a good
Imagine
twist.
you were watching Braveheart, and at the end, friggin' what's his face, a monk.
At the end, Robert the Bruce turns out it was Robert the Bruce in the armor.
Yeah. That's a twist. That's a good
No,
twist.
No, I'm not
say.
saying that. It's not even Robert the Bruce. It's Monk who was like advising him and helping him the whole time. Was actually doing it to grab land in Scotland for himself. It's like
thing. It's
I
not too
started
far
this
off.
whole war to help myself. It's
It's
completely
just not
different.
too far off.
But let's talk about Catherine for a second.
Okay.
The real person.
Uh-huh.
She is actually one of the most important people in English history.
Oh,
Did you know this?
I'm ready to learn.
Obviously, gives birth to Henry VI. Henry V, as we know, does not have a long life. She begins a love affair with someone you may know by the name of Owen Tudor. So she's, I guess, the matriarch of the Tudor
That's
dynasty.
a show, right?
It is a show.
That's a modern show where it's like,
By
it's
modern,
steamy,
you mean like
right?
15 years ago.
It's steamy.
It is steamy. It's got
It's got hot guys and
the one
girls. and stuff.
Natalie Dormer plays Anne Boleyn on it.
Isn't Peter O'Toole in it?
I don't know.
And I think Henry Cavill.
Sam Neill is. I watched the first season when it
Okay.
aired.
Did you like it?
I did. I don't know how I'd feel about it now rewatching.
That or Downton Abbey?
Well, I mean, I hear Downton Abbey's pretty good, so.
Right? All right, so
Wait, there was one last thing.
well, you were saying how important she was, that she did the tutors, which is pretty insane. Was she like a strong, like charismatic person? Because she seems like that in this film.
I don't know much about
Hard
her
to
personality.
say about a woman in,
Sure, yeah.
the 1400s.
But yeah, so she starts the Tudor dynasty. But do you know the actress playing her in this movie? Do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
She is Johnny Depp's daughter. Also known as one of the
Yoga
leads of
Hoser.
Yoga Hose.
Yes.
One of the worst movies ever.
Is that the worst movie you've ever seen?
No, Skinamarink is.
Wow.
It's worse than Yoga Hosers?
I'd rather watch Yoga
There's no
Hosers
story.
any day of the week than just stare at a blank wall.
At least Yoga Hosers you could laugh at, right? Might not be what he wanted us to laugh at, but you could laugh at it.
There's some fun to be had
Right.
watching it with your buddies.
Right. Skinamarink, there's no fun.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
And that was The King.
that's the king.
King. Yeah.
A weird movie.
Yep.
I liked it.
I
liked
did
it a
like
lot.
it, and then it let me down.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, I wasn't
There's
let
good
down.
things and there's bad.
I like when endings are not like the happiest and there's some like shadowy nonsense going on. I like that.
Brian is handing
Oh,
me something.
we got the drawing.
There we go.
It's drawing time.
It's drawing time. Yeah.
So what do we got, Ant?
This is a dead caterpillar with its legs up in the air wearing sneakers. Like it's like one of those caterpillars from Mario. Right?
Your description is fantastic. Your description is so good. Wow. This is.
What is it?
It could be. All right. It's circles and lines. That's all it is. It's
I
circles
honestly
and
don't know what
lines.
that
I
is.
don't know what this is. Is this the council? Is this? What am I looking? Is this?
It's a crown.
That's not a crown. That's not a crown.
Those are
That's
the
not a
pointy
crown.
parts of the crown.
That's not a crown.
Holy shit. This is
It's just the worst.
drawing you've ever done.
Every episode.
This is. He might be right this time.
Honestly,
is
I
bad.
drew that one. I was like, this is one of my worst ones.
This is so. It could be like people on a ship. Oh my god. Ow.
All right.
Man, what do you rate this?
Hard.
Hard to rate, right?
Yeah. Because it is not a bad movie.
No, it's got some. It's got.
I
some
have
good shit.
problems with it,
Yeah.
but the movie's genuinely good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Wow, it's low.
Because, like I said, it's the most inaccurate thing we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It is painfully modern, but at the same time, it's well made, it's well acted, and it is engaging and good. So I have to just split the difference, and I'm giving it a 5.
Okay. Gotcha. What about you?
I am a little higher than Ant.
Okay.
And I feel like these past couple of episodes, we've went in ascending order inadvertently,
Yes.
and it's really
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, we did.
I'm going to be a 7.5.
7.5.
All right. I gave this really high.
Yeah.
I gave it high. Not perfect.
I was
'cause-
anticipating. Can I guess your score?
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. It's a 9.
I knew it.
I like it a lot. I think it's everything I wanted to see in a medieval movie that I didn't get to see when it comes to battles and stuff like that.
I have nothing bad to say about the battle.
Battles are cool.
That brought it so far over the top for me. I think the story was well crafted. I liked the betrayal stuff. I even liked the Catherine part where it's like she hates him because he was the bad guy. You know, at the end, it's like he was a villain.
They made him the aggressor. And
Right. And you were rooting for the villain
tyrant.
the entire time.
Right.
You know, I loved that about it because it put you in a position to where it's like, oh, I'm kind of a piece of shit.
What made you pick this? Just out of curiosity.
I was scrolling through Netflix one day, and you know how like it plays like a little clip, and and it's
It was recommended if you like twinks, and
you
it was
like-
all Timothy Chalamet movies, and he was like, hot dog.
Turning one of the little rascals.
they did this chant like King Henry King in the ad, and I'm like, what is this? And I look and I saw the battle scene with the knights, and I was like, I got to see what this is about
cool,
because
yeah.
I've always wanted to see that, and I've never seen it done well.
Right.
It's been done, but not like that.
Not recently. It's all old.
Yeah, not in the
Right.
in the vein of like realistic melee battle with knights. Like there was people getting stomped by horses and drowning, and the hits aren't immediately killing, and it was great.
Right.
That's why I picked it, and that I got exactly what I wanted.
There's a movie that just came out. I think it's called Medieval. It's about the Hussites. I'd like to see that. I think that's probably
In 2022, it came out.
yeah.
Michael Caine's in it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, we're not a pick.
I don't know
episode
much
yet.
about it other than like it's about the Hussites, but that seems like something we should probably.
Did it
check
look,
out as far as medieval warfare is concerned?
It looked good with the warfare.
I saw
From
the
what you've seen?
the trailer looked decent.
Okay.
So
Well, you could
Yeah.
pick it. You know,
down
one
the
day.
road we'll get there. I don't want to go back to the medieval warfare.
Yeah, you
realm
don't want
so
to dip into the
soon.
well too much.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is
That's
that
it.
March? Is this the last film of March?
I believe so.
We did.
Is Gangs first?
No.
Or is that in the middle?
Private Parts?
You guys know this already.
Private
Yeah.
Gangs and then this. So yeah, this is the last of March.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another month.
Another month down.
We are getting dangerously close to the year.
I know. It's almost a full
When
year.
did we hit a year?
52 episodes.
52 episodes is a year.
We never skipped a single week yet.
Yep. We have not missed, and I'm very proud of that.
Oh, so we're probably past when we started recording a year, right?
Oh, we've been recording a year, but the show, we're not at launch yet. I believe we launched in May.
We spent, I think we're a month behind, right? Because we spent a month recording and getting everything together before releasing. So, yeah, there you go. Getting there.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Yeah. I look forward to another like 40 something episodes. Yeah, let's keep going.
40 episodes, and
That's it.
And then we're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're done.
Enough.
Enough's enough. The people are sick of us.
I'm with you.
Leave them wanting more, they say.
Gotcha. But yeah, thank you for listening.
50 episodes?
For
No.
watching. No, we're close. We're close.
No.
We're over 40.
In our time, episode 40 is dropping.
It's our time down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
In our time, episode 40 is dropping this Wednesday.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
So that's it.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you for listening and watching. And what should our reviewers?
Perceivers.
Perceivers?
Are we going with perceivers now?
That's what I want.
I want reviewers.
I want perceivers.
I'm on the side of the people. You're the fucking Civil War guy. You're evil.
I'm the dolphin.
Look at Steve with his large cock and tiny balls. I flipped it.
Yes.
It's flipped.
Like and subscribe. Smash the bell. And raid Shadow Legends.
NordVPN?
NordVPN.
One day we will have to do.
Fuck it.
so.
You know what? I'm gonna get Raid Shadow Legends for our first sponsor. I
Please do.
promise you that. And
Please
guess who's
do.
reading it?
Please do. I can't wait to use my warlock. You
they
know,
have
I love using the warlock.
Do they have warlocks?
I don't know.
Can we
But
download it?
Listen, I watch fucking Kings and Generals and Epic History, and they all love Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, so they might support us. Who knows? We get a couple of listens. I'll tag them. I'll tag them in the next one. Let's see what happens.
Also, go to our sponsor, Displate. Do you know Displate?
No, this
Or
one's
is that too nerdy for
I
you?
don't know this one. What's
is
this
this
one?
It's like you put a magnet on your wall and they send you different like custom metal prints of things that you could switch out and have different wall art.
That's kind of cool.
So it's like 1 week you could put Mandalorian up, the next you could put whatever, and they're like metal
Oh,
prints.
is it all like that bullshit? You can't like
cool.
put up.
It's kind of cool.
That's what
It's
I
no
see.
fine art.
That's what I see advertised. I don't
That
know
is
about
our fine art now. Have you not been in our society the last like 25 years?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. That's
By
it.
the way,
Oh.
you guys have been to the Met, right?
All many times, yes.
Medieval art
Yes.
is some of the coolest shit in there. And I was that's what I was thinking about before when I was talking about the colors and shit.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a museum if you can, if you have the means and the time, go to a museum and just look at what the Middle Ages really were.
You sound like a PSA at the end of a Reading Rainbow or like a Wishbone episode.
Well, I'm glad we can bring up LeVar again. Perceivers, you know what to do.
The perceivers will go. Yes,
Right.
yes.
For LeVar Burton. Think of LeVar and what
See,
he would do.
we don't need to do this because the reviewers, they already know that it was colorful. They don't got to see it. They're a higher class.
Cut to July 4th. Steve is in like blues. Anthony's in gray. They're fighting on a battlefield. Ricardo Vasquez is with Ant. Dennis
He's
is
gonna
with
have like 6
Steve.
people. I'm gonna have at least 50.
Listen, my side has to make its own government and build an army and a navy. You know, we're not inheriting what you guys have already built. You know, we are the scrappy underdogs.
Paddy goes and fights for beaver.
Articles of the perceivers.
Yes. Sesh.
All right. I want to give a big thank you to Tell 'em Steve Dave, Bry Walt Q, Get 'em for letting us record down in the studio. I want to give a big thank you to everybody for listening to the show and or watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media. Give us a rating or review on iTunes. It helps potential sponsors find the show. Follow us on all social media, Review History Pod on Twitter, Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. You can email the show, reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com. You can send an email to the show. I just said that at reviewinghistorypod.com @gmail.com. I meant to say go to the website, reviewinghistorypod.com. We should have merch up by now. Go take a look. Follow me personally on all social media at Brian Rupert. That's Rupert with 2 P's. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank and review every single movie I watch. Thank you all so much. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
I am the P-Man!